is an electronic calculator, a prodigious mechanical brain which science created to enable man to obtain answers to questions that once defied solution. In almost a matter of days, the new calculator can solve problems of such complexity that even the most brilliant mathematician could not compute in a lifetime of work. Although science is today creating amazing new patterns for man's life in the world of tomorrow, few realize the extent to which science already serves the individual, the community, and the nation. This is a report from the U.S. Southland, from whose colleges and universities have come many of the nation's great men of science. And in the South, there are many great men of medicine, constantly adding new findings to the accumulated knowledge of an art and a science that already has prolonged the span of human life by nearly 2 decades. Largely through new scientific discoveries, a once agricultural South has also become an industrial South. Today, the land of tobacco and cotton is dotted with new factories and mills. Many of these plants are producing synthetic fibers, which can be woven into textiles as durable and economical as those from natural fibers. The pine forests of the South are now an important cash crop. For a Southern scientist, Dr. Charles Hurty discovered how pitch-laden logs could be used for making paper. Already, the manufacture of paper and paper products is bringing many times more dollars to the South than its crops of peanuts and sweet potatoes. One of the best examples of the contribution science has made to both agriculture and industry in the South can be found in the story of today's cigarette. In Tobacco Land, USA, modern research is helping to increase the quantity and quality of the tobacco crop. Federal and state agronomists, as well as experts retained by cigarette manufacturers, collaborate in the development of improved strains of tobacco. The progressive farmer now takes specimens of his soil to an expert for diagnosis and receives a prescription for the minerals and whatever is needed to keep it in perfect shape for growing the world's best tobacco. From seedbed to curing barn, science is helping both nature and the farmer to grow and harvest better tobacco every year. The color, texture, and aroma of these leaves mark them as milder and better tasting. In Tobacco Land, one cigarette manufacturer has made scientific research and development an integral part of his factory's operations. To ensure an adequate and constant supply of mild tobacco, this manufacturer's research staff analyzes the properties of leaves grown in every major section of Tobacco Land. The findings of the laboratory technician indicate the regions and sometimes the very farms where the mildest leaves are currently being grown. A research staff keeps careful track of growing conditions throughout Tobacco Land. Before the harvest, estimates can be made, both of the size of the crop and of what proportion will be made up of the choicer, milder leaves. By knowing in advance where high-quality tobacco is grown, the manufacturer is able to send his buyers to the markets where they can buy the best. Tobacco men have known that leaves in the center of the tobacco plant are generally milder. But the laboratory can now determine the degree of mildness and the exact properties of every leaf on the plant. Staff scientists and technicians not only seek new discoveries, but they constantly look for ways to improve the existing methods of handling tobacco. For example, laboratory tests demonstrated that the condition of the hogshead in which tobacco is stored while aging affects the quality of the leaf. Today, all this manufacturer's tobacco is stored in tight-fitting hogsheads that give maximum protection to the leaves inside. Further laboratory experiments proved that while aging, tobacco is improved if the warehouses are closed to avoid sudden changes in temperature and weather. Until the laboratories made this discovery, the sides of all storage sheds were partly open to the weather. Today, this manufacturer has sealed the walls of all his warehouses. One of the research staff's most notable improvements in cigarettes came as a result of extensive laboratory studies revealing how temperature and moisture affect tobacco during blending and manufacture. Today, Tobaccoland's most modern cigarette factory embodies the results of long scientific research. In every department, temperature and humidity are precisely controlled. Tobacco is sampled at regular intervals, and a record made of its exact condition. From the air conditioning control room, supervisors can prevent even the slightest change in temperature and humidity anywhere. Through the infallibility of the electric eye and a maze of electronic circuits, science is eliminating the chance for human error in the making of this company's cigarettes. More than 400 billion cigarettes will be manufactured in Tobaccoland this year. Only by incorporating the newest and most efficient scientific developments in each mechanical unit can the manufacturer meet the overwhelming demand. This factory has hundreds of making machines, each one able to deliver more than 1,200 finished cigarettes a minute. Even after the cigarettes are made, packs picked at random are tested to make sure that the tight wrapper seals in the flavor and freshness. Throughout the years, this manufacturer has maintained a continuous scientific study which ensures that his cigarette is always constant in quality. A panel of taste experts conduct their tests in a specially equipped laboratory. Panel members can detect every least shading of flavor in a cigarette. If a substitute for this brand should be submitted to the panel, it would be detected immediately. While comparing leading brands, the panel made an important finding. One had no unpleasant aftertaste. In the cigarette that goes out from Tobaccoland, science and research have been combined to give the nation's 60 million smokers what they want. Just as science has improved your cigarette, so has it improved the clothes you wear, the food you eat, and the homes you live in. Today, the American home, whether in the Southland, the North, East, or West, embodies the accomplishments of the past and will share the patterns science is shaping for the future.